Utzror b'tzrachim et nishmato Adonai unachalato ve'anuach b'shalom al mishkavo v'nomar Amen. May his memory be for a blessing. As the Torah is returned to the Torah stand, feel free to take a seat for a minute as we continue with Ashrei 151.
Asher shevetecha ojolu chasela. Tehillat another bepi verkabasashing pachale olam boed vanakna v'rechya me'atav olam. Hallelujah.
Once again, please rise if you're able to. We're going to continue now with the service for returning the Torah to the Ark, beginning top of 153.
Moving on.
I'd like to invite everyone to please be seated. So as you're all getting settled in, I want to wish you all, once again, Shabbat Shalom. I think I pretty much got to everybody around the room today, but again, really glad to be spending Shabbat with all of you, especially this Shabbat that precedes Labor Day. On Monday, as we all know, we're going to be celebrating Labor Day here in the United States. I didn't realize, though I should have known this, it's also Labor Day in Canada, in case anybody is interested. And as we all know, Labor Day marks the unofficial end of summer. Labor Day weekend brings us big sales, both in the stores and online, and also, of course, for those people who are into this, week 1, as opposed to week 0, of the NCAA football season. And right after Labor Day, schools will open, so you got to start driving slow in the school zones again. And of course, the NFL season starts this week. And for those people who love the beach, and those people who love the beach probably aren't here right now, they're at the beach. But for those people that love the beach, of course, the beach closes now during the week. It's only open on the weekends. So with all these big, significant events taking place around this time, it is easy to lose sight of the official purpose of Labor Day, which is to honor the workers who are the backbone of our economy. And by the way, just learned this, of course, of preparing for today. Labor Day was actually created in 1894 as a federal holiday after it had been adopted in 30 states, and the forces that were behind the creation of Labor Day, not surprisingly, labor unions. So, of these many workers who make our economy go, some of them actually get the day off on Labor Day. However, I think that if you look around our country, increasingly, Labor Day is, for more and more of us, becoming a day that's kind of just like any other day. For example, lots of people in the service sector work on Labor Day. I don't know if you're old enough to remember when most stores were closed on Labor Day, not anymore. According to the AFL-CIO, about 25% of all Americans actually have to work on Labor Day. And then, of course, there are the approximately 170 million people who are not in the workforce in the first place because they are children, because they're retired, because they're people who choose not to work at a job, and people who are unemployed or on disability. If you add all of this up, there are more than 200 million people out of our population of about 330 million in this country who don't get the day off from their jobs on Labor Day, either because they're working or because they don't have jobs in the first place. So the question, I think, that really comes up for those people who are not working on not getting the day off on Labor Day, whether they're not working because they have the day off or because they're not working because they're not working, and that really includes a lot of us here in this room, is how do we find meaning in Labor Day beyond just sales and football games and trips to the beach and the mall and barbecues? What does Labor Day really mean? What can it mean to any of us? So there's a simple answer that I'm going to offer first, and that is that on Labor Day we can show our appreciation for all those people whose hard work is responsible for the food we eat, the meals we're served, the clothing we wear, the cars we drive, and so many other things. And I think it's fair to say that we often take workers in our communities and workers in our country for granted. We don't always show them the appreciation that they deserve for all the hard work and commitment that they put in. So at the very least, Labor Day should remind us to be nicer and more patient with the workers that we encounter. And I would add, especially in the culture we live in now, that's probably a reminder that given how hard they work, we should probably be tipping more generously. This year, though, I'd like to challenge us to go beyond these small gestures of appreciation for our workers, which should be a part of Labor Day, and consider the deeper meaning of Labor Day as it is informed by Jewish tradition. Because labor in Jewish tradition is something altogether different from what it is in English. It is true that the word in Hebrew for labor is avodah. And in fact, if you would like to know how you say Labor Day in Hebrew, you won't be surprised for those people who know a little bit of Hebrew to know that it's Yom HaAvodah. That's a real thing. In terms of labor, the word avodah, meaning labor, we also are familiar, of course, with the left-wing party in Israel, Mifleget HaAvodah, the Labor Party. So avodah in Hebrew does mean labor, just like labor means labor in English, but it means something else as well. Avodah has a much wider meaning in Hebrew, and in particular, avodah refers to as service as well as work, and it even refers to, at times, worship or prayer. So Labor Day connotes a day to honor workers, but Yom HaAvodah can mean something a whole lot more. It can mean a day that we celebrate service of all kinds, and even a day that we think about what kind of service do we do in our own lives, and what kind of service should we be doing. So in order to better understand the meaning of the word avodah and what it might be able to teach us about Labor Day, I want to give you 4 different examples from our Torah portion of verses that use the word avodah or some form of it. And I should mention, by the way, that words like avodah and the words that have common roots, ayin, bet, daled, occur hundreds of times in the Torah. I looked at the concordance and I just stopped counting after a while. And in our Torah portion itself, if I counted correctly, there are 18 different instances of verses that use a word related to avodah. And again, I picked 4 verses that are examples of different ways that the Torah uses the word avodah. So for example, Adonai Elohechem hamotzi etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'hapodcha mibeit avadim. And that was in our Torah reading today. Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you from Beit Avadim, the house of bondage, the house of slavery. By contrast, we have the verse, or maybe actually kind of the same meaning, sorry. V'samachta lifnei Adonai Elohecha ata uvincha uveitecha v'avdecha v'yamatecha. You shall rejoice before the Lord your God with your son, your daughter, and your male slave, avdecha, and your female slave, amatecha. So that's the second use of a word related to avodah. Third example, ki sidcha achicha ben imecha, o vincha, o vidcha, o eshet chechecha, o re'echa asher knafshecha, Baseter, Lemor, Neocha v'na'avda, Elohim acherim, asher lo yadata, atav avotecha. If your brother, your own mother's son, or your daughter, or your wife, or your closest friend entices you in secret, saying, come, let us worship other gods, na'avda Elohim acherim, whom neither you nor your ancestors have experienced. And finally, our last example, I'm going to put all these together, so just hang on for a second, so it will make sense. Acharei Adonai Elohechem telchu, v'oto tira'u ve'et mitzvotav tishmoru, u'v'cholo tishma'u, v'oto ta'avodu, u'v'o tidbakun. It is your God Adonai alone whom you should follow, whom you should revere, whose commandments you should observe, whose orders you should heed, whom you should worship, oto ta'avodu, and to whom you shall hold fast. So, again, these are 4 examples. I really probably should have made a sheet with all of them so you could see it, but let me put this together. These 4 examples tell us 2 very important truths about avodah. The first one is there are only 2 kinds of people. There are those people who choose who they serve, those people who are not able to choose who they serve. In Egypt, the Israelites could not choose who they served. They were avadim to Pharaoh. Pharaoh forcibly deprived them of their freedom. Some people in ancient Israel were also avadim. Some people were avadim just for a temporary period of time. Some people either chose or had to be avadim for life. The Israelites, the Jewish people, are, according to the Torah, meant to be free people. We were given the gift of freedom by God when God brought us out of Egypt, and we've been fighting for our freedom ever since. And many times in our history, as you all know, we were not free. And the amazing, miraculous reality that we live in today is that here in the United States, in many countries where Jews live, and of course in Israel, Jews are free. The vast majority of Jews right now are free. So I want to suggest that on Labor Day, we should also celebrate our fundamental freedom. Whether we work at a job or not, we can choose who or what we serve. And that is a big deal, even though we often take it for granted. Because so many people in this world are not free. And again, I did a little research on this, and it is shocking, really. But about 5.7 billion people, according to some estimates, that is about 72% of the world's population, live in authoritarian countries. They live in totalitarian societies. They live in places where they are not free. And even in our own country, people who advocate against human trafficking report that there could be as many as, in any given day, 1.1 million people in this country who are effectively enslaved. So if you think about where we are in terms of the bigger picture, we are really among the fortunate few who are truly free. And certainly we should cherish the gift of our freedom every day, but especially on Labor Day, when so many other people in this world have no choice about who they serve. It's worth noting that the Torah cannot imagine a world where we don't serve at all. In ancient times, everyone served, and there were really only two choices. The Israelites as a free people, had a very binary choice. They could either serve idols, serve false gods, or they could serve God. I would submit that even in our modern world, as Bob Dylan once put it, here I'm dating myself a little bit, you have to serve someone. And the question really is who or what. And I think if you think about it, everybody does serve. There are some of us who choose to serve only ourselves. There are others of us who choose to put ourselves in the service of things that are ephemeral, could do this, like wealth, status, fame. Plenty of people that worship those things. Some of us put ourselves in the service of things that are bad for ourselves or can be bad for others. Things like drugs, hatred, pursuit of power. And of course, some of us, many of us, choose to serve things that can bring good things to ourselves and to others. Things like family, like community, like philanthropy, and of course, like the Jewish people. So on Labor Day, another thing we can do to really mark Yom HaAvodah is to ask ourselves, who or what do we serve? If we're already serving in ways that are fulfilling, beneficial, and meaningful to ourselves and to others, we should make a point of celebrating our Avodah on this day as well. It's not just the efforts of those who work at jobs that make our lives better and richer. We certainly appreciate our workers, but we should appreciate just as much all those who serve in so many other ways that enrich the lives of those around them and even those they may never meet. For one of those people, when we think about the kind of service we do on Labor Day, we should swell up with pride, and I would even suggest that Labor Day can be a day when we make an extra effort to serve any or all of the worthy causes that we're committed to. If we are not yet one of those people, Labor Day is a great time to make a different choice about who or what we serve. Because the service that we give, even if we're not getting paid for it, even if it's not on a regular schedule, is meaningful and essential to the quality of our lives and to the well-being of the world. Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to continue now with the Musaf service, as we always do at this point. Page 155, if you're able to, please rise as Steve leads us Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbo.
Amen.
V'yamal dibra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yom echon u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael b'hagala b'hagala u'vizman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbo Mevarach V'olam Yomei Hamayah Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yipar V'troma V'yinaseh V'yitadar V'yitalev V'yitalal Shmei Kudsho
B'rechu
V'yehi Lamikol B'chata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Damiran B'yalma V'imru
Amen. We'll join Steve in reciting the first part of the Musaf Amidah together, 156b and 157. When we conclude the Kedusha on 157, we'll go right to page 158 and continue by ourselves through page 161.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Eloi Avoteinu Eloi Abraham Eloi Yitzchak Eloi Yaakov Eloi Sarah Eloi Rivka Eloi Rachel Eloi Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora Eloyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot Umevigwel Livnei B'neihem L'man Shemo B'Yahava Melech Ozer Voked U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham U'Voked Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayim Eitim Atah Rav Loshia Mechakel Chayim B'Chesed Mechayim Eitim B'Rachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Mikamocha Bal Gevurot Umidom Melech Memit Umechayem Umatzmiach Yeshua V'neman atah l'chayot metim Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei hametim Naritzecha v'nakdishcha Kesod tziach sarfei kodesh Hamakdishim shimcha b'kodesh Kakatu v'yad neviyecha v'kora ze'el ze'v'yamar Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Tzvaot Melech kol haaretz kevodo Kevodo mahale mahale Olam hayeh mekom kevodo Kevodo mahale mahale Olam hayeh mekom kevodo Kevodo hayeh mekom kevodo Mesharat shoalim shoalim ze laze hayeh mekom kevodo Mesharat shoalim shoalim ze laze hayeh mekom kevodo Umatam baruch yomeru baruch kevod Adonai mihim komo hu Yifen berachamim v'yachonam Ami achadim shemo Erev aboker Bechol yom tamid Pa'amayim b'yahava Shema omrim Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Hu Eloheinu Hu Avinu Hu Avinu Hu Malkeinu Hu Moshienu Vehu Yashmienu Berachamav Shenit B'yeinei Kochai Leod Lachem Le'Elohim
Ani Adonai Elohechem
U'divrei Kachaka Katuv Lemor
Yimloch Adonai Olam HaYetzion
Ledor Vador Hallelujah Ledor Vador
Dor Vador
Ledor Vador
Ledor Vador
Ledor Vador Nagi God Lecha Ledor Vador
Ledor Vador
Ledor Vador
Ledor Vador
Ledor Vador Nagi God Lecha Ulenetzach Netzachim Kiddushatcha Nahakdish Kiddushatcha Nahakdish V'shivchacha Eloheinu Mipinu Lo Yamush Le'olam Va'ed Ledor Vador
Ledor Vador
Ledor Vador
Ledor Vador
Ledor Vador Nagi God Lecha Ledor Vador
Ledor Vador
Ledor Vador
Ledor Vador
Ledor Vador Nagi God Lecha Ki El Melech Gadol Gadol V'Kadosh Gadol V'Kadosh Ata Ki El Melech Gadol Gadol V'Kadosh Gadol V'Kadosh Ata Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Let's see. If you are still finishing up with the Amidah, feel free to continue. If you're already done, we continue. Page 181, Kaddish Shalem. If you're able to, please remain standing.
Yekadav v'kadash me'rabo.
Amen.
Yalma dibra kirtei v'imlech machutei b'chayachonim b'chonachai l'chol b'Yisrael b'agol v'zman karev v'yimeru.
Amen. Yehesh me'rabam mevarach.
Le'olam le'omaya Yitbarach. Yitbarach v'ishtabach v'pa'ar v'trama v'naseh v'tadav v'ledav v'lal shmei d'kodesho.
Brechu.
Leila mikol b'chata v'shirata tushpachata v'nechamata da'amiram b'alma v'yimeru.
Amen.
Tizkabel tzonuvon d'chol Yisrael kadabavon d'bishmaya v'yimeru.
Amen.
Yeh shalom shemaya v'chayim alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mro mavhuya, Oseh shalom alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru.
Amen. Please be seated. Enk Eloheinu, page 182.
Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kimolkeinu, Ein Kamoshienu, Mi Keloheinu, Mi Kadonenu, Mi Kimolkeinu, Mi Kamoshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, Atahu Shektiru, Avotenu, Lefanecha Ketoret Hasamim.
Once again, if you're able to, please rise for Aleinu, page 183.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latei gedula leotzeh breshit, shelo asanu goye haratzot, velo samanu kimishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkenu gahem, vegor aleinu kechol amonam, ve'anachnu korim, mishtachabim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kakatuv b'toratech Adonai Melech le'olam bo'ed v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai le'melech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'shemahu echad.
Today is the 27th day of the month of Av. And on this day, we mark the following Yahrzeits: Max Adler, Ruth Chinsky, Hyman Epstein, Rose Fink, Tanya Hutner, Herman Kornfeld, father of Alice Glasser, and Sarah Potash. May their memories all be for a blessing if you are a mourner. If you're observing a Yahrenzeit, if you'd like to say Kaddish with us for any reason, please join me, page 184. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. Bagala uv'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lomei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpoar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudesha brechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. This time I'd like to call upon a hardworking person who I hope has the day off from her two jobs, both working for NYU Langone and also as president of PJC on Monday. And that will be Stacy Meyerson for today's announcements.
Thank you, Rabbi. Good morning. Good Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Thank you always, Jean, for the shout out. I'd like to start off by thanking Rabbi Khan and our Army service, starting with Jean Brickman as our head Gabbai and our Gabbaim on the Bima, Larry Abrams and Michael Prager.
Tov, tov.
Tov, Tov. Thank you, Hal, for taking us through preliminary. Murray Kleiner, Shacharis, and Steve Rubenfeld, Musaf. Yay. Thank you to Howard Kleinman for his Torah reading today, and again to Hal for reading the Haftorah. He did get a candy bar. Okay, and our Kiddush this afternoon will be in the Kirshner room, I believe, and put together by our Kiddush committee, Robin Kaufman. Okay, bunch of announcements, and just bear with me because there's more than what's on my sheet here. But okay, I just want to announce that this coming Monday, and Alan, keep me honest, services in the morning are in person and live streamed at 9 o'clock, yes? And in the evening at 8 o'clock, live stream only. I do read my emails. Okay. September 3rd is a sisterhood program in the evening, I believe. I don't remember the name of the gentleman, but there will be someone speaking on the Broadway shows of Jerry Herman. So come down, it should be a good show. Okay, on the 6th, this coming Friday evening, it's very short notice, but it was in your weekend email notifications. We are having a Shabbat under the stars. It is a dinner. It's $25 a person. We're going to be doing it outside just to come and be together to sort of kick off the fall season. We're hoping the weather will hold out, but please call the office to RSVP because we do need to know how many people will be coming to let the caterer know. But it will be a Shabbat dinner and a time for us to be together. Okay, on the 10th of September, and if there's anyone here from Men's Club, keep me honest, I believe that's the back to fall barbecue or New Year barbecue. So that's the 10th. Okay, on September 25th, we have Sisterhood Bingo. But actually before that, the weekend of the 21st, we are going to have a big sort of Shabbat welcoming to the community weekend, starting off that Thursday. I don't remember the date, but 19th, thank you, Rabbi. The rabbi's going to be hosting a challah bake for Shabbos, so look for that. Friday night, we'll have our Tat Shabbat. Saturday morning, we'll have services. Saturday evening, we're going to have some type of Havdalah event. So keep on the lookout for all of your announcements. 28th of September is Slichos, and we're going to have also the installation dinner for our boards, both the Board of Trustees as well as the boards of Sisterhood and Men's Club. And so we'll be installing them during services. It happens to be a Saturday night, so after dinner we'll be doing Havdalah, and then we'll be doing services and Slichos. But it should be a very nice night, again, for us all to be together and in preparation for the new year. Looking very far ahead, November 2nd, we've booked a show, sort of a tribute to Hello Dolly that is celebrating its 60th anniversary. Tickets are available online, as well as you could talk to me in person, but we will be having that as well. And November 10th is the Men's Club Sisterhood Brunch. This year we will be doing it as a joint brunch. If I forgot anything, please, yeah, oh, I see hands, okay. The 13th? September 13th, Friday night family-friendly service. We will be celebrating Jordana hamburgers, bat mitzvah the next day. So, and we have advertised this to the community, so we're hoping it will be a nice service, and we are going to have a nice kiddush afterwards. Joel? Tonight's service is 7:45, 7:30. 7:30. Okay, and it's live stream, correct? Yes. Okay. Thank you. And there's actually one other evening that I did not mention that is an exciting evening for us. October 8th. We are having both a support Israel and support our community, as well as meet the candidates night. We have combined them to come together starting at 7 o'clock. We'll have a 1-hour program where, again, we will be able to outwardly show our support for Israel, pray for the hostages that are still being held, and just be together on this daunting anniversary of October 7th, followed by our Meet the Candidates Night hosted by Men's Club, where we can pointedly ask them what their positions are on Israel, as well as other things of your concern. Okay, thank you. Now for this week's joke. Rabbi Levi is walking home from shul one Shabbos when he sees Izzy in front of him. Izzy is a learned and respected man who can hold his own with the rabbi on Talmudic discussions. As Rabbi Levi tries to catch up with Izzy, he is shocked to see him go into the Chinese crab restaurant. As he looks through the window, Rabbi Levi sees Izzy giving his order to a waiter, and in a short time later, he sees the food arrive, a plate of shrimp, lobster, and crabs. As Izzy picks up the chopsticks and starts to eat, Rabbi Levi bursts into the restaurant and confronts Izzy. Izzy, just what do you think you are doing coming into the restaurant and ordering this treif? You are not only violating everything we are taught about the dietary laws, but you also seem to be enjoying this food. Rabbi, says Izzy, did you see me enter the establishment? Yes. And did you see me order this food? Yes. Well, then I don't know what the problem is. This has all been done under rabbinic supervision. Shabbat shalom.
Shka.
Thank you, Stacy, for that timely joke. We did talk about kosher today in our Torah portion. My favorite joke like that is still the one that ends. So much trouble for just a baked apple, but we'll tell that joke some other time. Just another reminder, because September is an incredibly busy month for us. September 11th, Community 9/11 program. I believe it's at St. Pius at 7 o'clock. We're send out email already. We'll send out some more. Please join us for what is a very important moment for our community to remember the victims of September 11th and then their legacy. I think we covered everything else, so let's go right to Hatikva. I knew that. Page 395. If you're able to, please rise. Then it'll be followed by Kiddush and Hamotzi up here.
Kol od balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefateh mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avta tikvatenu התקווה שנת 2000 לאותם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון ירושלים לאותם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון ירושלים Yerushalayim.
Al Kain Merach Adonai et Yom HaShabbat Vaykadshehu Savri Maradan V'Rabadan V'Rabotai Chaim Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Borei Peri HaGafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim. Amen. Thank you, Stacy, for handling the call duty today. Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. And to everyone once again, Shabbat Shalom.